Hey everybody, it's Nagao here, and we're back playing Katawa Shoujo, or reading, yeah. So, let's load and start off somewhere. I don't know where, I don't know which one I don't know who I'm gonna go for now. I see one. Will I be able to do more? Let's go for it. What am I doing here? Am I really just gonna fold and let Emmy pull ahead? I speed up. The second lap's done quickly and without even considering it. I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Oh god. Emmy laughs without breaking her stride, no less, and speeds up even more. Remember, she is on the track and field team and like the best around. Well, this is the way we're gonna play things and create my own pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we start playing a game. I'd answer, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she keep... It's like a string pulling at my chest. A choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, but then, oh shit. The track disappears from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down to clutch on my chest, and the other hitting the track to keep from falling on my face. Emmy whirls around and her eyes widen. It's Al! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Nothing, just keep your breathing steady. Calm down, don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get a nurse? I close my eyes shut. Shutting it out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon it's gone like nothing happened. It was... nothing? No, something happened there. I open my eyes again and glance at a very worried Emmy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to me, myself. Oddly, even the matter of fact, it makes Emmy frown. I don't think you are. She seemed to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emmy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse to shoulder Emmy off for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point, it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. While much more things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse. Emmy crashes in his office without knocking, but doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? I don't remember their voices. It's been so long. Sunshine. Anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug, but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. This how? What brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest. And I thought it just went on his own. What the? Someone thought it'd come get you, make it wait there, but he said he was okay with it. I thought you should see him anyway, and alright. Easy there, Emmy, calm down. Sal, what happened? I don't know. We were running and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as to say that Just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. Moron. I don't mean quite this one. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You gotta be more careful, Sal. I was being careful. I just, come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. It doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. Just what? I was racing Emmy. Emmy, is that true? Emmy Fit just looking adorably contrite. Well, finally she seems to bring herself, say it aloud in millions. The nurse sighs and rubs at his forehead at one hand heavily. Emmy, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Miss Al is a bad heart, and getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? You what? I can't yell. I don't. It's nighttime, and people are sleeping, and I don't. We were just running, and Emmy started to pull away, so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer for patience to some god or another, looks back down at both of us. So you're both stupid. Whoa. That's a comfort, I guess. Come on, Miss Al. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. What? I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room where we discern that I am, in fact, not going to kneel over and die. So, how does it feel? I don't know. Nothing much. I'm tired, but it might be just from the exercise. We can stay here for a few hours and rest, and we'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thorough miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said, though, through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really, really sorry. I shouldn't have even been more careful. You didn't know. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry. And my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer up. I want to make it up to you. Yeah, I said no. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good. I start with you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good. We meet on the roof. Yeah, that is right. The roof is a great spot for lunch, you know. I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great, see you there. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. No, that's not good. I swallow with difficulty and try to lie as still as I can, which is disdainment is not a very hard thing to do. What is that on the screen? What is that? I just realized, what is that? What the? The nurse is shuffling around the other side of the room with the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see a shadow shifting about it in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion like waves. The light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer, and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it. Not even a week and I ended up like this again. I screwed up this time. I should have known better than to play a half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I try to act brave like a heart flutter was no big deal, even when it was obvious it was. It was just a reflex to push it away, to keep it inside. 'Cause you conceal, you don't feel. I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Stupid. I need to be more careful or I'll end up in the hospital again or worse. That's my final thoughts before I give it into the darkness. Good night, Sal. Good night. Oh, I fell asleep for how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded, but I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly when he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm kind of feeling groggy, falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me shrugging the question to gain some orientation. The nurse looks at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to have happened in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, Sal. Oh. Fine. Climb down from the bed then. Let's see how you're doing. Don't. I should do exactly that, only this way dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by an arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly, is what I was going to say. Just sit there, I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up embarrassed with myself while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption in my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away looking neither pleased nor unhappy. You're alright. Had stopped spinning? Yeah. Good. And how are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, Sal. I swallowed the retort I was going to make. That's what I was thinking to myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. It doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, but still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, "Told you so," or something, but he doesn't. I can try and help you keep your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that will remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher to avoid interrogation. I take the slip of paper he's offering, make my leave as I can. Can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear you. There's some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not too keen to find out and possibly get lost. So I go out from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs, but the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms and to get my books and stuff, and going straight away to the class. The sun is stinging my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. The halls are quiet, as the courtyard was naturally so, since everyone is in class. I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Mattel calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Wait, Good morning, Nakai. Mattel seems to be somewhat confounded by coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his class tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave to me, and Mattel takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me a stern look but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily, and I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes before and being overly attentive the first days. I was pretty high-strung in class. Mattel finishes her lectures about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's project is going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also, come Sunday, please keep the meaning of the festival in your mind. The games and fried food. Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. but all he means to say, the remainder of the sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Mateo deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down from the cafeteria. Normally I'd join the flow and grab a lunch by myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. Eventually, the torrent subsides, and I step tentatively out into the hallway, only to be met by Emmy, who comes bouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, Sal. Hey, Sal. Great time. I have super extra lunch today. Let's go upstairs. The doorway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps into beaming into the sunlight. I didn't realize how tall she was at first. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Hey, hello. You scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello. I don't think I even gave her a voice. It's so bad. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confused at Emmy. She's that friend of yours. Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. What is her voice? Awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds, and Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Sal for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? I am neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. I don't want to give her like a deep voice. I don't want that. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath their feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school ground and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center of the small town, it strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of the big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run and catch a bus like this life dependent on it, or get their senses overloaded by neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from the perfect clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin and and produces 1 big and 2 small lunches. from her bag. Come on, Sal, what are you waiting for? She's beckoning to me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places the lunchbox in front of Rin, and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch is promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I'm making myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to the sight such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up being a normal person? Or does it mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts, but the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. She seemed pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run-up always works up an appetite, which is great because then I burn through the lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish vigor. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I nearly choke up on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Did you figure out to run in the mornings too? I know I've read this part already in the past, but it's hilarious. Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answered my question. Or, never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How do you two meet? Rin seems to get content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes in a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we got a lot of limbs, get it? Nah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the morning, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better, and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage matter. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. And she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch when speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot all of that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to a Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with a pink color scheme, and keeps a equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is. Well, this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow, I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So Sal, how do you like it up here? Hmm? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places with a view. Thanks for inviting me out here. And for the lunch, too. I mean, Grin's doesn't want Grin. Please buy my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own here. No lunch service. I don't know. Abby looked mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will keep eating lunch all alone. I am suddenly insulted by the heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. And Rin is just like, she's whatever. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. The location and the company's okay too. Abby frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Yay. Or at least, acquaintances. Social link. A lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're gonna fade away. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class is past. Passes. I'm having a hard time reading right now, I don't know why. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school. So I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday. All the more evident for the almost total silence enveloping the room. Well, as I dropped the books I borrowed in the return slot in the counter, Hugo suddenly popped up from behind, quite startled from the banging it made as it hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Hugo, didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine, it happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? That's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it becomes a hard habit to break. I wander down the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything to catch my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Nako had been last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. Even though she's looking at me, I decide against intruding on her like last time, thinking back to find reading material. Oh no. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head into my room to read books that I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Ooh. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trivia as I remember the story to be, with the wacky characters and the nonsense plot. I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too, haplessly tumbling down into the rabbit hole, into the crippled Wonderland. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, The isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolute everything is unsettling. That's like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everything being hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like that since the time in the forest with Iwanaka. Like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stared at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep.